Mike Bohn here at American Top Team in Florida with Colby Covington. Colby, a lot of stuff going on in the welterweight division right now. We just saw two contenders, two former title challengers get knocked out in back-to-back main events. What is your thoughts on the state of the division right now, especially with what Pettis has done and what Masvidal has done?
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Those two guys losing to 55-pounders. It's embarrassing, but for all the fights that they put the fans to sleep, it's finally justice that they were put to sleep.
Yeah. Does that change the landscape of anything? I mean, I know you obviously are looking at a fight with Kamaru Usman, but this changes the top five a lot in this past couple weeks.
No, it doesn't change really anything for me. I've kind of been at the top of the mountain by myself for a while, so this just kind of clears it out more. There's nowhere else to go for Marty Usman. He's been faking injuries. He's trying to fight anybody but me, but now there's no one else. I'm the only one here, so he's got nowhere to run and hide anymore.
Yeah, do you have any idea when this fight could happen? I mean, he got a double hernia surgery. He said he had a broken foot too. We don't know the timeline for him. Has the UFC given you any indication?
Yeah, Dana told me July or August, but I told him I was ready for June in Chicago if that was need be. But he's faking injuries. He's trying to use his belt as a bargaining tool, trying to get into Hollywood, trying to go for Hollywood sets and stuff. So he's just following the Tyron Woodley game plan. That's fake injuries and delay the process as long as you can. Hold up the division. So it's a sad state in the division, but I'm going to make the division great again soon.
Yeah, and I mean, Chicago, I imagine, would be ideal for you. A lot of good memories there for you. But International Fight Week, a big one. Do you just have a preference? I'm sure you just want to fight as soon as possible. It's been pretty much a year for you at this point.
Yeah, I'm just ready to fight as soon as possible. International Fight Week would be amazing. It's the fight capital of the world in Las Vegas, so it'd be great to go put on a show for the fans out there. I had to go steal Fight Week UFC 235 2 weeks ago, so it'd be great to go back there and get a little justice for what happened in the Palms Buffet line.
Yeah, and exactly. That was a whole other thing. And then we saw Kamaru do an interview with Joe Rogan, and he had a lot to say about you. He said he wants to unleash the wrath of every immigrant on you. I'm sure you saw that interview. What did you make of that?
It's just more lines that Ali Abdelaziz is feeding him. He doesn't even know what he's talking about, to be honest. He doesn't know the difference between legal and illegal immigrants. It's a sad state. He's trying to figure out his identity. He doesn't know his identity, and it's just sad, man. He's trying to be this good guy, but then he's out attacking me in the Palms Buffet line, putting innocent people's lives in danger. So it's sad. I can't wait to punch a hole in his face.
Do you think for him, I mean, obviously this is going to be his approach to trying to promote this fight, given, what your history, Donald Trump, all that kind of stuff. Is this a good way to build up a fight? Is this proper promotion, or would you rather, us not cross this line here?
I think anything goes. You just want to generate fans and get people to view, but you got to know what you're talking about. Don't make this a political thing if you don't know anything about politics. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. So he's just going to make himself look really stupid, and that's probably why he's got a Division II education, and why I got a Division I education from a prestigious university.
I had the chance to speak with Tyron Woodley last week in Nashville, and he said obviously he'd like a rematch for the belt. He'd like to fight you at some point, but he called out Conor McGregor. He said that's the fight that he thinks makes the most sense for him. What do you make of that?
It's embarrassing, man. Tyrone doing what he does best, embarrassing himself. He's calling out a 55-pounder, a guy that's below him that has no aspirations to fight him. The thing about Tyrone, he's not a draw. No one cares about him. The fans, they don't want to see him fight. He's boring inside the cage and outside the cage. So he's not going to get a big money fight with Conor. He's not a draw, So he couldn't even sell 100,000 pay-per-views by himself. So why is Conor going to give him a spotlight to fame and money? So Tyrone, man, just sit down, watch grown men work and watch how real men do it.
The one big takeaway from just everything going on lately is the welterweight division is as good as it's ever been. There's so much going on. Ben Askren comes in too. Just a lot of excitement. Does this make you happy to, especially if you do get that belt, unify? And I imagine your sense, there's a lot of guys, a lot of big fights, a lot of exciting fights. This must make you very happy.
Oh yeah, it makes me very happy. It's exciting times for the welterweight division, and I just want to keep knocking off top contender after top contender. I told the UFC, I told Dana that I was here to make the division great again, and that's by doing what the fans want, what the people want, and whoever they say is next, that's going to be who's next. But by guys like Ben Askren, they got to get a win first. I'm not going to say your name until you get a UFC win. Until then, I got nothing to say about you, but I'm only worried about Marty Snoozman and sending him to retirement.
And assuming this fight does happen June, July, what does it look like? Because, you guys obviously, I think, to me, match up really well. It's a really fascinating fight. What does it look like when you actually get in there together?
I mean, I think it's going to look like an amateur versus a professional. You know, he's going to look like an amateur that night. He's tried to copy my blueprint to success his whole career. You know, the RDA fight, the Damian Maia fight, even the Woodley fight. You know, those are things I've already done. You know, I left those guys for dead, and he came and picked up the bones off the carcasses. So, you know, he hasn't done anything that I haven't done yet. He wants to be me, but he's never going to beat me. So, you know, it's going to look real bad. I promise you that. He's going to be in a pool of blood, and he's going to have to go away from the octagon in a stretcher.